We're here at North Oconee High School with head coach Tyler Aurandt at Khalil Barnes' commitment ceremony. So for Khalil, when you break down his game, what do you feel like he'll bring to the table at Clemson?
He's super competitive. I'll start there. And he has a unique skill set, but he has an innate ability to find the ball, whether he's on offense or defense. And when the ball's in his hand, he's electric. So, as an offensive player, you try and feature him as much as you can in an offense because he's so electric when he gets the ball in his hands, and he has an opportunity to go score every time. Defensively, he's a guy that you can rely on to shut down basically half of the field. And you put him on their best wideout or their best player, and you let his competitive nature and his ability take over and win you a lot of ball games from that standpoint. So he's a unique player that you only come across, very, very few times in your career. And he's got a special ability, but he's just such a special kid as well. And that's why he's so much fun to be around.
So what stands out? How would you describe his character and what he's like outside of football and that day-to-day?
He has elite character. He's one of those kids, when he walks in the room, he makes everybody in the room better. He's always smiling. He's always got a lot of energy. He makes great grades. But whatever he puts his mind to, he's going to go after it with his whole heart, to try and be successful with whatever he's doing. When you have that type of kid in your program, he instantly makes our culture and our program better because of the character that he walks into the building with on a day-to-day basis.
Gotcha. So when you take away what Khalil's done at this program, look forward, how are you going to remember his contributions and what he's meant here?
It won't be tough to forget him. I mean, it's going to be hard to forget him. He is so special because you know what you're going to get when you walk down on the field Friday night, but the way he helped everybody raise the level of their game is probably going to be the hardest thing to replace. Because he instantly, with the way he did things through his actions, he was going to raise the level of everybody else's game around him. And that's going to be the hardest thing to replace with him, I'd say. And then just the character piece. Everybody talks about what you see on Friday night, but nobody sees him in the school building or in the field house on a day-to-day basis. And it's so special to watch him interact and challenge his teammates. That's one thing that I think Clemson is going to gain so much from, is his ability to win the locker room. And it's going to take some time because he's going to have to earn trust. But he'll be one kid that goes and earns it. But by the time he's 2-3 years into that program, he's going to be one of those guys that they all look to help rally the locker room at times or to help challenge people when they need to be challenged.
Okay. And for Khalil, I know his recruitment wasn't like some guys where it's 8th, 9th, 10th grade going crazy. So watching his rise as an upperclassman, junior, senior, from your perspective, what was that like for you?
It's special because there's a kid that stayed very patient through the process. As a sophomore, he had a really good year, and I don't know that he had the measurables at that time. His junior year, he was phenomenal, and he built his body into a position to where he was going to have a chance. But then he stayed really patient, and I don't think they came as fast as they probably should have in terms of his offers, but he just trusted the process, and he just kept coming in and working hard every day. And when you got kids that come in and work hard every day, success is going to follow that. And you started to see the trickle down from, the Georgia States, the Georgia Southern started offering, and then the bigger schools started to come in and bring him to camps and things like that. And when you get in front of him, you're not going to do anything but love that kid because of the way he plays the game, the way he lives his life, and the spirit that he has in everything that he does. And so, it's a hook, line, and sinker when you get in front of him because he's going to do everything the right way. He just had to have an opportunity to get in front of people. And I think that's why Clemson fell in love with him, because he fits their program and the culture that Coach Swinney has built there so well.
Okay. And I know with Clemson and that program, they interact with the high school coaches as well. What was that relationship like? What was it like with you talking with them? I know you've had some past conversations there, but what was that like in Khalil's situation?
Yeah, well, Coach Khan and I worked together, and I worked for him for 3 years at Grayson, so we already had that relationship. And then going through it with Bubba and building a relationship from a recruiting standpoint, because you tell them about it, and then once they finally come in, they get a chance to see them, it's like, whoa, you were right, this kid is a special kid. And I think that was the case with both of them, him, KB and Bubba. But just knowing what that program is about and having learned their culture over the last 3 years, specifically when we went through this with Bubba, I knew that KB would be a great fit. And once Coach Khan saw the film and got him up to camp, he called me immediately and he said, you're right. This is a guy that we have to follow very closely and we have to build a relationship with. And I respect everything that Clemson's about. And the way they went through this process, and they didn't push it, they didn't offer early, they wanted to make sure he was the right type of kid. And once they were around him enough, that phone call happened where, Coach, we're probably about to offer him. Because we've been around him enough, we know what his family's about, we know what he's about, and everything fits what we're about. And that's the type of kids that we want here. So that's a tribute to him, that's a tribute to his parents and the way they've raised him.
When you're talking to college coaches about Khalil, what were some of the things you were telling them when you say, oh, I've got a kid? What was that conversation like?
We've been able to build a relationship with those coaches and to where they, when we talk about our kids, like I'm not going to try and sell a kid that's going to go there and want to transfer immediately. Like loyalty is a big thing, and with the way the college world works now, is you want to recruit kids that are going to be loyal. So trying to sell them that, hey, these are kids that are going to come into your program and they're going to stay for 3, 4, 5 years. I think that means a lot to them because they're not going to have to re-recruit them when they get on campus. And I think both of the guys that made decisions and that will sign next week, I think they're going to be with those programs for a long time. And they're going to help create that culture and bring that program even further down the line and grow it even more. But the trust is, I think that's the biggest piece, is getting where those coaches trust you that the kids that you're trying to sell are going to be kids that are going to go in and help their program and be successful and just be great citizens in their communities wherever they end up.
For sure. Coach Aurandt, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here and covering these guys for the last 2 years. So thank you.
For sure. Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good to see you.